So, I mean, where do I begin? I could talk about all that we do at Westminster um, all day long, really. But Kate did ask me to focus more on supporting refugee children and their families in school. So that's the bit that I will focus on. So Westminster is just a bit of background. Westminster's um, twice as it's larger than an average primary school, but as is the case with all other schools, we do have reducing pan. We have around 36 languages, different languages that are spoken at Westminster, and we do have high levels of mobility. Now, upon admission, pupils are given a school tour. We also provide a school jumper and a book bag for all children. There are dual language resources available in all classrooms, including a basic phrases and words booklet on display in every learning space as part of as a point of reference for staff and children. Parents are sent out how is your child settling in forms a week after they've arrived at the school, which and it's a forms which can be translated into different languages and home languages. Families are also contacted, a couple of weeks into the child settling into the school, just for a brief discussion about how they've settled into the school and how the family has settled into the school as well. Now, at Westminster, we have a very strong inclusion team, and this inclusion team work very closely with the families who may need support. So, for example, we have a weekly school food bank, which is supporting not only our refugee and asylum seeker families, but all families as well, other families who are experiencing poverty. We have WhatsApp groups which are in place, so we had a WhatsApp group in place for our families who were housed at the hotel, because we had a large number of children who were actually housed at the hotel. But these WhatsApp groups, included messages, for example, about enrichment visits, trips, general day-to-day queries, details of food bank deliveries, taxis arranged for pupil collection, general appreciation from the family for the support school provides. And again, WhatsApp allowed these messages to be translated into home languages. We provide help with home to school transport. So for example, the school minibus, it went out and collected and dropped off our key vulnerable families when we hold weekly English classes for our parents. We've organised and held successful community events during Christmas, Eid, Easter, celebrating our truly diverse community, further developing that strong sense of community and belonging. We even provided our families housed at the hotel access to our school kitchen, which allowed them to cook some wonderful homemade dishes. We have set up sanctuary ambassadors, which are part of our school council, and Kate initially worked with our sanctuary ambassadors, and through our regular meetups, we explore feelings around living in a new country. We work on ideas for welcoming refugees, asylum seekers. We also look at further potential fundraisers, and they also have a big pupil voice, a big pupil say on ideas for Refugee Week. We also only this year set up a young interpreter scheme. Now, the young interpreter scheme is it's an official scheme which was actually launched by Hampshire Council. So in order to become a young interpreter, the children actually had to go through a strict selection process. So they had to actually apply for this role. So the idea of the young interpreters is to they act as buddies. So any new arrivals, whether they are new to English or not, they support these pupils in class. They support them during break times, during transition times, and it's just a way of celebrating the many different languages and culture within our school, whilst also helping our new to English learners improve on their English. Now, 3 years ago, we did actually have a huge influx of Afghani refugee asylum seeker families, and they were all new to English. They didn't speak a word of English, so we did set up a new to English intervention, new to English provision. So every morning, these children from year 2 across to year 6 used to come out for an English language intervention, and in the afternoon they were back in the class sort of mixing with their peers. I'm not going to talk too much about the setup of that, because I know Marketa is also going to talk about effective new to English practice. And we actually achieved School of Sanctuary status last academic year. 2 years ago, when we did receive more information about Schools of Sanctuary, we had a look at this information as a senior leadership team, as a whole school, and actually all the criteria and all that you need to sort of evidence, provide evidence of, we realise that actually it's part and parcel of daily life at Westminster. So again, the evidence that we were able to provide, the application form, it just sort of came about quite naturally, because it was all part and parcel of day-to-day life at Westminster. We also, when we had the arrival of our Afghani asylum seeker families, we had a parent actually who swiftly became a parent ambassador on behalf of the other families. This parent's family were forced to flee Afghanistan, and because this particular parent had greater language proficiency, they were able to act as a bridge between school and the other families. And due to their credibility, actually, they were selected as a parent governor and started their governance role at Westminster. However, they managed to secure permanent housing in Leeds, so that the family moved on. So yes, I hope you've.
Thank you, Nosheen. Goodness, I feel like I could let you lead the whole hour, to be honest, on all of those examples of good practice. So many. Westminster have a fantastic example of how they worked with their Afghan families, and having an Afghan governor was really, I think, transformational, wasn't it, for your sort of Afghan community, and the way he acted as a bridge was so valuable. And the access to the kitchens at Christmas was just phenomenal for families who are stuck in hotels. So there is this is what I mean. There's so much great stuff going on in schools in Bradford and Keighley that, we just doesn't get shouted about at all. So thank you so much, Nosheen. And as you said, for you guys, the evidence was pretty much already there. And schools come from all sorts of different positions. For some, the award process kind of prompts them to tighten up on a few things. I think you mentioned about tightening up on a few things at Eastwood. But yeah, and for you, Nosheen, so much of the award was already sort of part and parcel of what you do. But thank you for sharing again.